Hello students and Namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and I welcome you all to the online session of Vidyadish Vidya Sankul School. Students, in our today's lecture we are going to discuss about your standard 9th literature part chapter number 4, that is a truly beautiful mind, right? So first of all, this chapter is about Albert Einstein, okay, who was a very famous and a great scientist, okay, and the title of the chapter, that is a truly beautiful mind, refers to Albert Einstein, and this is actually a short biography of Albert Einstein where his qualities are described, okay. So some of his qualities have been highlighted in a very beautiful way, and the writer has also told about Albert Einstein and his interest in mathematics and physics, and also his humanitarian attribute, right? That means along with his interest in mathematics and physics, he also had a humanitarian attribute. That means he was concerned about the people, about the peace, okay, about the peace in the world, right? So further, if we think about the title, that is a truly beautiful mind, okay, so one may wonder, right, a question may arise that how is it possible that a scientist's mind can be so beautiful, right? So as I said that this title is actually referred to Albert Einstein. So question arises that how is it possible that one's mind can be so beautiful, right? But in this chapter we'll come across another aspect of Einstein, okay, except his findings and research on science, will come across another aspect, and there we will find it out that he was also humanitarian, okay. So what happened, he that is after the World War II advocated the humanitarian approach, and he also advocated non-violence, peace, and that is why the title refers to him as a truly beautiful man. So let us try to understand the chapter in detail, okay. So let us begin with the textual content. What is given in that? We shall now read about a young German civil servant who took the world by storm, okay. So a young civil servant who took the world by storm, that means he was a civil servant, okay, and he did something which was surprising and which changed the whole world, okay. About 100 years ago, in the summer of 1905, that is 1905, the 26-year-old published in quick succession, 26-year-old published in quick succession, that means in a very less time, one after the another, okay. So therefore it is written in quick succession, four groundbreaking papers about light, the motion of particles, the electrodynamics of moving bodies and energy. So these were some of his discoveries which changed the world, okay. His work took up only a few pages in scientific journals, but changed forever our understanding of space, time and the entire cosmos, and transformed the name Einstein into a synonymous for genius, okay. So he was considered to be a genius, okay. He actually died in the year 1955, okay. So at present it is approx 70 years, but here as it is written that 50 years after his death, Albert Einstein's geniusness still reigns, okay. That means till date we remember Albert Einstein for his geniusness, okay. So let us begin with the first paragraph, okay. Albert Einstein was born on 14th March 1879 in a German city of Ulm. The name of the city is Ulm, okay. without any indication that he was destined for greatness. That means he was absolutely a normal child. There was nothing as such extraordinary when he was born. Okay. On the contrary, his mother thought Albert was a freak. Okay. On the contrary, that means when he was born, there was nothing as such extraordinary qualities in him. And on the opposite side, even the mother, what did she think about Albert? That he was a freak. Freak means stupid. Okay, a word used disapprovingly to talk about a person who is unusual and doesn't behave, look or think like others. Right. So that is known as freak. To her, his head seemed much too large. That means the mother of Albert Einstein, she found Albert's head too big. Okay. Next paragraph. At the age of 2.5, Einstein still wasn't talking. Now you can just imagine. He was 2.5 years old, and then too he was not able to speak up. When he finally did learn to speak, okay, that means when he started speaking, he uttered everything twice. That means whatever he spoke twice, 2 times. Okay. Einstein did not know what to do with other children, and his playmates called him brother boring. Okay. So Einstein did not know what to do with other children. That means he was always all alone, and he did not know what to do or how to behave with the other children, and therefore the other children of his neighbors, school and everyone find him boring. Therefore they gave him the title of brother boring. So the youngster played by himself. Okay. So the Einstein, who was a young kid at that time, played by himself. Okay. Moving further. Played by himself. So the youngster played by himself much of the time. Okay. He especially loved, what is given over here? He especially loved mechanical toys. Right. Mechanical toys, we all know, which runs on machine. Okay. Looking at his newborn sister Maja, he is said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" Right. Now you can just imagine that how funny it might be. Right. That is when Albert Einstein had a young sister born, he asked such a kind of silly question that where are her wheels? So do you think that the child will have wheels in his or her body? Okay. A headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he will never make a success at anything. Now again a very big thing. A headmaster, that is the principal of the school, once told his father. Okay, so Einstein's father was called, and what did the principal say? That what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter. That means whatever thing he will do in his life, it doesn't make any kind of sense. Okay, because he will never make a success at anything. That means the principal felt that Einstein was a total dumb. He cannot do anything in his life. But to his contrary, he became a world famous scientist. Okay, the people all around the world know who Albert Einstein is. Right. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. That means his mother wanted Albert Einstein to learn violin. Okay. He later became a gifted amateur violinist. Okay. He became a gifted amateur violinist. Amateur means doing something for personal enjoyment rather than as a profession. That means he was not serious about playing violin, but he enjoyed playing violin in his free time. Okay. For leisure. Maintaining this skill throughout his life. That means throughout his life he played violin very well. Okay. But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil, bad student. He went to high school in Munich. Okay, Munich is in Germany, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old. Okay, when he was 15 months old, and scored good marks in almost every subject. So what is told over here, that he went to the high school in Munich, okay, where Albert's family had moved when he was 15 months old, okay, and scored good marks in almost every subject. That means he was good student, he was good at learning, okay. Einstein hated the school's regimentation, okay. Einstein hated the school's regimentation. Now what is regimentation? Order or discipline taken to an extreme, right? So the school was very strict, okay, in all the matters, and often clashed with his teachers. That means he often had a fight with his teacher, Albert Einstein, okay. Yes. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled there that he left the school for good. Okay. So, stifled means unable to breathe. That means he started feeling suffocation. That means he was felt that the school is such where he is not having any kind of freedom and he is not able to adjust himself in that school. Okay. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan. Okay. So, and left their son with relatives. So, Milan is the name of a place. Okay. After prolonged discussion, prolonged means which is continuing for a long period of time. Okay. So, after prolonged discussion, that means after a very long discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. That means he was later sent to another school, okay, to get education. Next paragraph, that is the 6th paragraph, okay. Here you can see the picture of Albert Einstein, right? Okay. Einstein in the 1900 at the age of 21, and Einstein in 1955 as we remember him now. Usually whenever we remember Albert Einstein and we try to get his picture, usually we see this picture everywhere. Okay. So, we will move to the 6th paragraph. Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics, and after finishing school, he decided to study at a university in Zurich. Okay. So, Zurich is the largest city in the Switzerland. Okay. Further, but science wasn't the only thing that appealed to the dashing young man with the walrus mustache. Walrus mustache, that is a big mustache. Okay. So, you can see the mustache of Albert Einstein in the picture also. Okay. Moving further to the next paragraph. He also felt a special interest in a fellow student. Okay. Now, about his personal life is given. He also felt a special interest in a fellow student. Fellow student means a student who used to study with Albert Einstein. The name of the student is Mileva Maric, whom he found to be a clever creature. That means Albert Einstein, he himself was a very intelligent person, but at the same time, the fellow student whose name was Mileva Maric, Albert Einstein found him to be very clever. This young Serb, okay, this young Serb had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. What is written? This young girl had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich, okay, was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. That means earlier there was a time when women were not encouraged more, and that was the place where she could get her degrees and further education. Einstein saw in her an ally against the, so what is given over here, that Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines. So ally means a friend or a associated. Okay, so that means she was very friendly to Einstein, right? That is what Einstein felt about her. Against the Philistines. Philistines means a word used disapprovingly to talk about people who do not like art, literature or music. Okay, so what Einstein is saying, that is, Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines, those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. Okay, whom he was constantly at odds. So constantly at odds means he was not in a friendly term, okay, or he was not in good relation with them, right? So this girl was such with whom he felt comfortable, and he felt that she was very friendly to him. Okay, the couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing signs with tenderness. Okay, mixing signs with tenderness, wrote Einstein. How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion. Okay, so what is Einstein writing? That how happy and proud, both of them were experts, they were very clever, okay, and in their letters, that is in their love letters, okay, they used affection with words and also mixed the signs with tenderness, that means carefully, with love and care. Okay, so what Einstein is writing, how happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion. Relativity is more, what is relativity? So the way that anything except light moves through time and space depends on the position and movement of someone who is watching. Okay, so here he is actually trying to say that it will be a great thing if we both come together, that means we both get married to each other. So in 1900, at the age of 21, Albert Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. Okay, he worked as a teaching assistant, gave private lessons, and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert, okay, in the patent office in Bern. Bern is the capital of Switzerland. Okay, Bern is the capital of Switzerland. So he got a job. Okay, so he got a job as a, yes, here, as a technical expert, okay, in the patent office. Now what is patent? Right, usually whenever a person discovers something of his own, right, then he needs to get it registered, okay, so that the others don't use it without his permission. Okay, so that is known as patent. While he was supposed to be assessing the other people's inventions, Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. That means as a technical expert, what his work was to assess the work, that means to see whether the work given by the other people, okay, is proper, and how it does work and all those things. It does not match with the other people's innovation or invention. So that was actually the work of Einstein. But instead of doing his own work, he was busy. Okay, so what is written over here, that while he was supposed to be assessing to check other people's inventions, Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. That means he was at that particular point of time simultaneously. That means along with the assessing work, he was also developing his own ideas. He is said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. That means at his office, the drawer where he used to sit, right, everywhere in the office we see the table, and there are drawers in that table. So jokingly he called his desk drawer at the work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Okay, what he is saying? Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Why? Because whatever work he used to do, okay, whatever secret work of innovation he used to do, the research work what he used to do, all those paper he used to keep in his drawer, and therefore he called that drawer as the Bureau of Theoretical physics. Okay. Moving to the next paragraph, that is the 9th paragraph. Okay. One of the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. Okay. According to which time and distance are not absolute. Absolute, the meaning is given, okay, measured in itself, not in relation to anything else. So what according to Albert Einstein's theory of relativity is according to which time and distance are not absolute. Time and distance, that means they are not related to each other. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey. So this is what the example is giving. If one of them has been moving very fast relative to the other. From this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. E is equals to mc square. So this is the world famous formula given by Albert Einstein. Okay, you can ask about this formula and try to understand it in detail from your science teacher. Okay, students. So here what it is written, I'll just read it out. In this mathematical equation, E stands for energy, m for mass, and c for the speed of the light in a vacuum, that is about 300,000 kilometers per second. So he is trying to explain this formula with an example. When you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes, right? When you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. So that is relativity. Okay, it is told by Albert Einstein. It is one of the most beautiful example, best example to understand relativity. Okay. Moving further, while Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was unraveling. Okay, so unraveling means starting to fail, right? That means on the one side he was able to solve the most difficult problems. Okay, on the other side, there is opposite side, his personal life was struggling. Okay, Albert had wanted to marry Mileva right after finishing his studies, but his mother was against it. Albert Einstein's mother was against it. She thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, 3 years older than her son, was too old for him. So usually we find out, or we see, or we notice that there is a trend, or earlier there was a particular trend like this, that the girls, they used to be small as compared to the boy when they go for the marriage. She was also bothered by Mileva's intelligence, because her mother also felt that Mileva was extremely clever. Okay, she is a book like you, that means she is very intelligent like you. His mother said. Einstein put the wedding off. That means at that time Einstein decided that no, he will not marry her. Okay, the pair finally married. That means for some period of time they delayed, they cancelled, that they will not marry. Then in the next paragraph, the pair finally married in January 1903, that is 1903, and had 2 sons. But a few years later the marriage faltered, became weak. That means they were not so strong in their relationship. Mileva, meanwhile, was losing her intellectual ambition. Okay, because she was very intelligent, so her ambition might be there for becoming something. So she was losing her intellectual ambition and becoming an unhappy housewife. That means after getting married, okay, what all she might have thought before the marriage, she was not getting that thing, her ambitions, her career and all those things. So she was not happy with that, okay, as a housewife. So after years of constant fighting, the couple finally divorced. That means they got separated in the year 1919. Einstein married his cousin Elsa the same year. That means in the year 1919 he got divorced from his first wife, and in that same year again he got married to his cousin, that is Elsa. Okay, moving to the next para. Okay, 12th paragraph. Einstein's new personal chapter coincided with his rise to world fame. Okay, so what is written over here, that is Einstein's new personal chapter coincided, okay, coincidence. So coincided means to happen at the same time as something else, to happen at the same time as something else. So what happened with his rise to the world fame? In the year 1915, he had published his general theory of relativity, which provided a new interpretation of gravity. Okay, so along with his new theory, there was new interpretation of gravity. Okay, an eclipse of the sun in 1919 brought proof that it was accurate. So during the eclipse of the sun, Surya Grahana, okay, this theory of Einstein proved to be absolutely perfect, accurate. Einstein had correctly calculated in advance the extent to which the light from the fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. The newspapers proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution. Okay, so what happened, that is he has written that when there was a science when there was an eclipse of the sun in 1919, okay, Albert Einstein had correctly calculated in advance the extent to which the light from the fixed stars are fixed, okay, would be deflected. Deflected means change direction because it hit something. So would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. Okay, so he might have done some calculations and it proved to be absolutely accurate. Okay, so this came to the notice of the people and the newspapers proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution. That means he gave him the credit for bringing revolution. Okay, revolution means bringing change in the science. Einstein received the Nobel Prize for physics in 1921. So it is one of the most prestigious award given to the people all around the world. Okay, he was showered with honors and invitations from all over the world and lauded by the press. Okay, so lauded means praised, tarif, praised. Okay, moving further, in the 14th paragraph, when the Nazis, okay, Adolf Hitler, you all might be aware, he was the leader of the Nazi party in Germany, came to power in Germany in 1933. Einstein immigrated to United States. That means in the year 1933, when the Nazi party became powerful in Germany, he didn't want Nazi party to get his formulas and use it in a destructive way. So 5 years later, the discovery of nuclear fission in Berlin, okay, Berlin again it is in Germany, had American physicists in an uproar. Okay, so what happened, that is in 1933 Einstein immigrated means he shifted to United States. 5 years later, the discovery of nuclear fission. So nuclear fission is a process in which the nucleus of heavy atom is split apart. Okay, and in Berlin, as I told, it is in Germany, had American physicists in an uproar. That means when Einstein came to know that the Germans, they have discovered about the atom bomb, he was shocked. Okay, and many of them had fled from fascism just as Einstein had, and now they were afraid the Nazis could build and use an atomic bomb. So through this fission, nuclear fission, Einstein was aware that the Nazis could build an atomic bomb. Okay, and therefore he warned the people that he warned the US that they need to be very careful regarding that thing. Okay, next paragraph. At the urging of a colleague, okay, Einstein wrote a letter to the American president. At the urging of a colleague, that means the person who used to work with Einstein, okay, that person urged Einstein, that means he forced or told Einstein, and upon his telling, Einstein wrote a letter to the American president Franklin D. Roosevelt on 2nd August 1939, in which he warned a single bomb of this type. That means he was well aware about the powers of the atomic bomb which the Nazis have made, and therefore he warned the American president to be careful. And what he said, a single bomb of this type ... that means could destroy, or he might have described that how dangerous it might be, exploded in a pot, okay, might very well destroy the whole port together with some of the surrounding territory. That means he is trying to explain that how powerful that bomb is. His word did not fail to have an effect. The Americans developed the atomic bomb in a secret project of their own and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. That means actually Albert Einstein had told Americans about this nuclear fission just because he wanted that the Americans or the United States should be aware, okay, from the Nazis. But what the Americans did, they used that concept, and they used that concept themselves and prepared a bomb in secret and used it on the two Japanese cities, that is Hiroshima and Nagasaki, okay, during the Second World War. And we know that how destructive it was. So in the 16th paragraph, what is written? Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of destruction. That means he felt very bad. He was very much affected, okay. This time he wrote a public missive. Missive means letter, especially long and official, to the United Nations. In it, he proposed the formation of a world government. That means when he noticed that there is so much destruction going on all around the world, he felt that a world government should be formed who can control all the countries from fighting war against each other, because he wanted peace. He knew that this destruction would not get benefited in any way, okay. So he proposed the formation of a world government. Unlike the letter to Roosevelt, this one made no impact, okay. Earlier actually, when he meant through his letter that the government should be careful, but when he wrote this letter, okay, this made no impact. That means it was not that much useful. But over the next decade means after the period of 10 years, Einstein got even more involved in politics, okay, agitating for an end to the arms build-up. Arms means weapons. So agitating, okay, for an end, agitating means to try to get people to support or oppose something. That means when he was fully involved in politics, he urged the people, he forced the people, okay, for an end to the arms build-up. That means he told the people that we should not build up arms, we should not develop weapons, because it is all destructive and we cannot get any kind of benefit out of it, okay. And using his popularity to campaign for peace and democracy. That means he used his popularity as a world famous scientist to urge the people to develop peace and democracy, okay. So this is how he acted for world peace, okay. And the means from this paragraph we can understand his humanitarian attribute, and that is the reason why the name of the chapter is A Truly Beautiful Mind, because that was the period when the First World War had happened, even the Second World War had happened, and which was very destructive, and he was urging the people to become to accept peace throughout the world, okay. In the last paragraph, when Einstein died in 1955 at the age of 76, he was celebrated as a visionary and world citizen. You can just notice this word, world citizen, as much as a scientific genius. That means he was considered the citizen of the whole world, because he not only thought of himself but about the whole world, okay. So that's it about the genius who is Albert Einstein, okay. and here the chapter comes to an end. So I'll also end my lecture over here, and I thank you everyone for listening to me carefully. Take care of yourself, stay healthy and stay safe.